Section 61 of 1,000 Things Worth Knowing. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Recording by phone. 1,000 Things Worth Knowing by Nathaniel C. Fowler, Jr. Bleeding. Arterial blood, or blood coming from the arteries, is bright red and is discharged in spurts or jets. Such bleeding is very dangerous, and unless the physician arrives almost immediately, the patient is not likely to survive. Venous blood, which comes from the veins, is of dark purple color and flows freely and steadily. Capillary bleeding comes from injured small veins. It flows slowly, and such bleeding is dangerous only if it continues. Always summon a surgeon or physician, and put in a hurry call for him. Force the patient to lie down in a level position, preferably upon his back. If the leg or arm is wounded, elevate it. Cut away the clothing quickly, so that it may be exposed. Press the bleeding places, but cover your finger with gauze or a clean handkerchief, or compress the part by using a strong cloth bandage. If the bleeding comes from an artery, cover your finger with a few thicknesses of gauze or clean cloth, and press hard upon the wound and maintain the pressure, which may stop the bleeding. If the wound is large, crowd a lot of gauze into it and push it in, then press on the flesh a little distance above the wound, that is, between the wound and the heart. This can be done by winding a bandage, a piece of rubber tubing, string, or rope, or a pair of suspenders may be used, above the wound. If the arm or leg is crushed, do not press on the wound, but bring pressure to bear above it. Bleeding from the veins. Lay a piece of gauze over the wound and bind it on with a firm bandage. Be very careful not to apply your naked fingers or hand to the wound unless you have washed them in some antiseptic, but even then it is better to cover your fingers with clean gauze or cloth. If the bleeding is very severe, apply cracked ice wrapped in gauze and hard pressure below the wound. Varicose veins occasionally bleed. Elevate the arm or leg and bandage it very tightly, the bandage to be placed directly over the bleeding spot. Bleeding from capillary veins. As the blood oozes and does not flow rapidly, expose the wound to the air for a short time, which will usually check it. The application of hot water is advisable, but warm water should not be used. Extremely cold water or cracked ice will stop some bleeding. If copious bleeding occurs around the tooth, it may be stopped by packing the place with plaster of Paris, or absorbent cotton may be used. In every case, keep the places warm. After the bleeding is stopped, give hot drinks like hot tea, coffee, or milk if much blood has been lost. Broken bones. Do not attempt to set the break. Handle the patient carefully. Place him in a comfortable position and undress him, removing the clothing by cutting it to save time. If it is necessary to carry him a distance, improvise a splint made of wood or heavy pasteboard and fasten it around the broken part with bandages. Carry him to a physician or summon one at once, but let him lie quietly if a physician can reach him. It is well to have 2 splints, one on each side, to be held in place by the same bandages. If the arm is broken, bandage it and place it in a sling. In every case, summon a physician or carry the patient to one. Chilblains. Keep the feet warm and dry. Don't warm them at the fire or place them in hot water, but bathe them in cold water and rub with a dry towel. Apply turpentine, camphorated spirits, or oil of wintergreen. End of section 61. Recording by phone.